Okay, guys, today's Tuesday. I talked to you yesterday about lesson one, just the first quadrant of the coordinate plane. We're going to extend it a little bit here and talk about the four quadrants. Remember, this is the point of origin, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. And if we were looking at these quadrants, and it would go in reverse order: quadrant one, quadrant two, quadrant three, and quadrant four. But I'll get to that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top there and just kind of work down through this. Again, a lot of fundamental stuff here. So let's find some negative things here. All right, -3 on the vertical line is the truck. Whoops, TRUC. Okay. 4 on the horizontal line is the balloon, right? The sailboat is -2, right? So it's -2 on the horizontal line, right? The motorcycle, here's a motorcycle. Well, it's 1 on vertical. I'm just abbreviating this. This is pretty elementary. 5 on the vertical is the helicopter. And the rocket certainly is going to be -5, right? -5 on the horizontal line, right? -5. Okay, so the coordinate plane extends the two number lines to include integers. Remember, integers. And integers are whole numbers and their opposites, right? That's the way you have to think about it. All right, so now we're going to come down here to the bottom, lift that up just a little bit, and label this. All right, so when I look at these, and I'm going to start with quadrant one here. This is called the first quadrant. We know that by, we denote that by a Roman numeral 1. Now, how do I get into the first quadrant? Well, two positive numbers will get you there. Positive, positive, right? Let's take a look at quadrant 2. See, to get to quadrant 2, and that's 2 Roman numerals, you see, the first number has to be a negative. I have to have a negative, all right, in my ordered pair, and then a positive. So the x, the first number, is going to be a negative, and the second number is going to be a positive. Now, that was 1. This is 2. We go in reverse order. This is quadrant 3. Now, quadrant 3, to get down in here, to plot down in here, I need a negative and a negative. See, these are all integers, negative numbers. So I need a negative and a negative on my x and my y coordinates. And then finally, quadrant 4. And quadrant 4 is written 1v. And to get there, it's going to be a positive and a negative. See, I have to go over to the positive and then I drop down. So to get into those quadrants, we would use these types of integers there. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is x, that's y, and this point here is the point of origin. Let me go ahead and flip it over, and let's do a little bit of graphing here. And let's see what they want here, okay? Okay, so determine the ordered pair for each point. All right, no problem. So, letter A. Letter A is -3 and 3. And again, don't forget to write those in parentheses. Okay, now let me make sure we're all right up there. All right, so let me bring that down just a little bit for you. Okay, letter B. Letter B is right here, so it's 3. Remember, the intervals here is 1, so it's 3.5 and -3. So if I was to write that, it would be 3 5/10. That's a decimal, and here's my comma. And the next one would be -3 because it's down here. Letter C. Letter C is right here, so it's 4 and down 2, so it's 4 and -2. Letter D. Letter D would be in the first quadrant, so it's 1 and 4, so it's two positive numbers, right? And letter E, let's see where that is here. It's right there, so it's in the second quadrant, so I have to go back. So it's going to go -4.5, and I'll write that down right now, -4.5, comma, and then I go up to 4.5. That's weird, isn't it? But there's the ordered pairs. And again, you can see my negative there. You know what? I'll make it a little bit better for you to see there. Negative there. Letter F is right here. So when we look at F, we're not going anywhere left and right. So the first one is 0. The first coordinate is 0. And then I come down to 4. So that's a negative 4. How about letter G? Letter G. Letter G looks to be right here. So we go over 4 and up 2. Over 4 and up 2. That's the first quadrant. They're both positive. And the last one is letter F. Letter F looks to be, I'm sorry, we did F. Letter H. Letter H is back here in the third quadrant. So we're going to have two negatives. Negative 4. I'll write that one down first. And negative 1 5/10. And there it is. So all we're doing is just writing the ordered pairs down. Now we're going to do the opposite over here. They're going to give us the ordered pair. We're going to plot it and put a letter next to it. That's all. Okay. All right, let me check it, make sure we're good. We are. Here we go. Letter I is 2.5 and negative 3. So that's going to go right there. And I'm going to put a letter I next to that. Letter J is negative 2. So I go back 2 and up 4.5. Right there. And that's letter J. K, negative 4, negative 5. That's easy there. Negative 4, negative 5. It takes us down to the the third quadrant, and there's K. L, 0, negative 2. I'm not going anywhere left and right. I'm just going to go down here. Right? 0, negative 2, and that's letter L. M is 3, negative 1. 3, negative 1. Boom. 3, negative 1 is letter M. Next one is N. 3.5, 2.5. 3.5, 2.5 is letter N. O, a half and 4. So a half would be right there, and 4 would take me right up there, and that's letter O. Last one is 5, 0. So I'm going to go over 5, and I'm not moving. I'm not going up and down. That's a 0, so it's letter P. So just a little graphing exercise. And again, we have our 4 quadrants, X and Y. There's the point of origin. All right, let's slide down to the last piece here and see what they're asking us to do. All right. The graph below shows several figures. Okay. Which points meet the condition where X is less than 1 and Y is greater than negative 1? Okay. So let's start with this. We want X is less than 1. So X, this number is less than 1. So for it to be less than 1, it has to be 0 or this side. So I'd say letter A is. Let's start with that one. Letter A is less than 1, all right? But its Y is greater than negative 1. So letter A is absolutely 1. So you see it's in that third quadrant. How about another one? Let's see if we can find another one. Let's take a look at letter G. Anything over here, right? And really it's going to be anything in this this second quadrant. But this is letter G it's less than 1, right? It's negative 4, but it's greater than negative 1. Negative 1's down there, so letter G is 1. And then, of course, letter D, it's less than 1 and greater than negative 1. So those are the 3 points. They had to occur in the third quadrant. Let's take a look at B. B. At approximately which points do the triangle and the circle intersect? The triangle and the circle intersect. All right, so the triangle and the circle intersect. So which points do it? So to me, when I look at this point of intersection, I see right here's one. So it would be negative 3.5 and negative 3, right? So that's 1. Negative 3.5 and negative 3. And let's see if there's another point of intersection. It looks like, there's one right here. Right here's one. So we're negative 1.5, right? Negative 1.5. And we're only coming up just a little bit. So it's not quite a half. So I'm going to call that 1/4. Now you could change it to a decimal if you wanted. So we've just graphed these 2 points of intersection right here. And then finally, name the ordered pair that represents the center of the circle. The center of the circle. So the center is probably about right here of it, right? So it's -3, -1. -3, -1. Okay. So again, just a different way to look at the coordinate plane. Again, this is quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. This is X, this is Y, and there's your point of origin. Okay, guys, have a good day.